All right, so BJ, thanks for coming on again. As a freelancer, how can we secure more recurring revenue from our existing clients?
I think the most important thing in regard to getting long-term income from clients is to try to think about what is the aim that the client is after. And usually it tends to be the same thing. They're putting in their money to achieve an outcome. And that outcome is usually they want to get your services so that they're able to maximize their revenue. So if you're trying to think of it from their perspective and try to add things as you work, which you know is in the client's best interest. If you make it very clear in the way that you work, that you have thought about the client's interest and that you are maybe trying to think about what's the next step. For instance, if you are designing a website and it's selling a product, it might be an idea to consider adding, for instance, banners
Mm-hmm.
as an addition to the website. It might also be an idea to try to think, well, are there any graphics that I made for the website that I can easily tailor it in several different ways? It doesn't take me a lot of time, but that can be perceived to have a high value for the client.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to do with the actual work. Another thing has to do with the actual process. Is there anything that you can do during your process to create something that is of value for the client? So let's say, for instance, that you're developing a book that the client is going to sell. And you notice small little things that could be of additional value. You might find some resources that could create additional bonuses. You might be able to define themes that could be good for instance, videos. And through that, you can just bring it to the client's attention. Well, I've completed this project. However, I noticed that these things could be nice additions. And you can just mention it to the client so that it almost becomes a natural extension for them to continue doing work with you.
So what you're saying is, sorry if I can just stop you there quickly. So what you're saying is execute the work as requested, but even perhaps maybe question some of the work, maybe advise on ways to improve it, essentially add value above and beyond what is actually required of you. Is that right?
Yes, ideally, I would suggest that freelancers try to think of the intention behind the work.
Okay.
Some employers might have a very clear idea about what they want initially. However, if you as an employer are able to think, I mean, as a freelancer, are able to think constructively and creatively about what the employer actually wants and are able to come up with a solution that is better than what they imagined, then you stop being regarded as just a freelancer. You go more into the realm of someone that is a natural partner to think for long-term projects. For instance, experts in conversion optimization tend to be good examples of that because they have the ability to go in and say, well, you can change that based on your traffic, and then you can get that outcome. And through their skills in improving conversions on a website, they're able to almost provide their own long-term income. So that's an example of a very particular niche. For writers in particular, they can increase their probability to get long-term income by being very, very strategic in the way that they write. Most writers tend to be good in writing the actual content, but not particularly good in writing for the journey of reading. For instance, how-to books in the for dummies format can easily be copied by writers, regardless of topic.
Okay. So how do you get better at knowing where and when to add value, do you think?
By trying to be better in the way that you communicate and also trying to look for similarities between the type of assignments that you do. Ideally, I would suggest that most freelancers that are particularly new to freelancing should try to start by working on small assignments and try to formalize them as much as possible. So let's say, for instance, you're a graphic designer and you decide that what you want to focus on is landing pages. And after a while, you start learning how to put together a landing page and start to figure out, well, I can adjust my work in this and this manner so that I can simplify the way that I work and I can cut down on the time that I spend so that you almost nail down to a teeth what you can deliver.
Okay, cool. Done.